Hey guys, Colorado Dave here, and we are starting to talk about the Benchmade 940-1. This is not a new knife to a lot of you. It's been around for a while, but it's a new knife to me. I just got introduced to the Osborne 940 just recently, like around Christmas time, when they came out with the HQ Blade HQ version, excuse me. They had an exclusive that was done in jade handle, and then it had M4 as far as the steel for the blade, and that was black coated, and it was gorgeous, and I love the knife. I did sell off most of my collection here recently, if you guys have been following me, and so you guys will have an idea of what that knife was. Well, I did get rid of it. I got an opportunity. I got an offer from somebody. They saw it on one of my videos. They definitely wanted it. I did have it for sale, and so I did sell it to them. That being said, I missed it right away. So in that breath, really wanted another 940 because that was my first experience with one. I did baby it a little bit because I thought I might sell it because of the fact it was an exclusive. So I decided if I was going to get one, I was going to get one that I was going to use and not be afraid to use. And this is the one I ended up with, guys. Really cool knife. This is the 940-1. This has the carbon fiber scales, and it has the S90V Blade for the blade steel, excuse me. But it is a blue box version. We can probably get rid of this box actually. The box is standard to pretty much all your Benchmade boxes that I've seen in the blue class, which is pretty much all I've bought. I might have one black, I'm not sure. But anyway, inside you're gonna get your microfiber pouch, which is kind of nice. They are nice to have. So you got that, and then you got your warranty in there, and that's about it. And then it tells you about the access lock. But get rid of the box. I got it from DLT Trading. DLT Trading, I like them a lot. They've stood behind their product. I had an issue with the knife and had to return it. It was an expensive knife, and I had to return it. It was like the colors were totally wrong on it. It was, I won't say what the brand is, but it was a well-known American brand, expensive knife that I got at the holidays. And DLT Trading, they'd said the color they'd said on it was blue, and it looked like blue in the picture, and it was gorgeous, and got delivered, and it was violet. It wasn't blue at all, and it was a totally different color. And they stood behind it, took the knife back, no issues. Good company, bottom line. Good company, good people. Was really happy with dealing with them on that issue because they did resolve it for me fairly easily. So good people. And the other company that was behind it must have also done their share of making sure that they stood behind it as well for it to go through as quickly as it did and for everything to happen as quickly as it did. So anyway, I don't know why I got on that tangent, but I did. So getting back to this knife, let's talk about it. I know this isn't a new knife. I know it's been around for, I believe it's been around about 8 years from what I understand in the videos I've seen online. So by no means is this a brand new knife. The Osborne in general is like a 20-year-old knife. So it's like two decades old. They've been celebrating it over the last year, the fact that it is its 20-year anniversary, and so that's why they've made a bunch of special editions. They've made some full titanium ones, etc. This was the model that just made the most sense to me, though, because the carbon fiber scales make it very, very light. You get very strong steel in the S90V. It just, to me, this hit home, and I just felt like I like the stonewash on this. That's really important to me. If you look at that blade, it's a user blade, and I like user blades. I can use this and not see scratches and not worry about it, which makes it much more comfortable for me to grab it out of my pocket and use it for anything that comes up during the day. And I want a knife that I can do that with. That's important to me. The carbon fiber scales are actually very nice that way as well, because they don't pick up any scratches or anything. I think they're gonna be really, really clean. It's gonna be easy to keep this knife pretty clean looking, even though it's not over the top shiny like some of the knives maybe. It's going to be easy to keep the finish that's on here, which makes it very much a working man's finish, and I think that's what Benchmade was going for. And one of the reasons that people buy Benchmades is it does have that working man finish to it. So anyway, very, very cool knife. Very, very well executed in a lot of ways. It's just a really unique blade. I like the reverse tanto blade. Which is what we're talking about up here. And then you got this big swedge here in the blade. I have already sharpened this once, and I put my edge on this. I will tell you that the S90V is a little bit tougher to sharpen, but by no means is it as hard as I've watched a few videos, and guys are saying, oh, it's so hard to sharpen, and oh, it'll be great until you have to sharpen it, and it's not that bad. I put it on my KME system, which is how I sharpen my knives as of late, and it took me probably an extra 20 minutes versus what a normal knife would take me to do on that system, just because of the fact that I made sure that I ended up using probably about 8 stones when it was all said and done, between stones and lapping film. I used about 8 different stones on it, and you know what? I ended up with getting a real nice edge, and I ended up getting a nice mirror out of it. And you know, if you look at it, there is definitely still a nice mirror edge on that. I have heard people mention the fact, though, that it's not going to be the kind of edge that's going to hold like super, super sharp to the point of like when you start grabbing paper, and you know, it's not just going to slice a bunch of paper real paper thin. It's not going to just shave the hairs off your arm that easy. This is a working edge, and I would agree with that. From what I've learned and from using the knife so far, it is a working edge. When I first sharpened it up, and I put all my time into it on the KME, and I took it off. Yeah, I could slice paper really, really nice, but within a couple days, it really didn't cut paper all that great, to be honest. But then I went outside and I had to cut some boxes up, and man, this thing went right through those boxes like they were nothing, you know. So depending on what you're gonna do, this knife is awesome. I'm not looking at it as super slicey as some of my knives, and I'm one who's kind of a sharpening guy, and so I like my knives to be a little bit extra sharp. This isn't gonna be that knife. This knife is gonna be a working edge, you know, which is an edge that you can just keep going at it and keep going at it and keep going at it, and it can take it. And so that's what I was doing more than anything, was just playing around with some boxes in the garage, and I just kept cutting them over and over and over again. And then, you know what? I felt the same sharpness out of the knife. So that's where I could see the edge retention, and was impressed with it, to be honest. I do like this darker stonewash finish. It's darker than a lot of them you see out there. So again, it gives you kind of that gun smoke kind of feel to it a little bit. It goes well with the carbon fiber. You can see the Osborne there on the other side. And then it says S90V up there in the corner, if you can see that on the blade. And then the actual clip itself is interesting. I took the clip off, and I ended up switching it over to a deep carry clip. I had a deep carry clip for my Super Freak back when I had it, and I still had the clip on hand, and I figured I'm gonna throw that clip on there because it would fit on there and perfectly. And so I threw the deep carry clip on there. It fit in hand okay, but it felt looser for some reason. It felt smaller, and it did not in a good way. So this clip actually, from an ergo standpoint, even though it's big and you think it's bulky and it's gonna really bother you, it really doesn't. And I like the clip, and the clip works well for, you know, for manipulating the knife and opening it and closing it and everything. It felt better than when I had the other clip on there. So I switched the clip back again, even though I had that nice deep pot carry one. And the deep carry one was in good shape, so there's no reason I couldn't have kept it on there. But I switched back to this clip because I'm like, you know what? I think I like the original clip. So I did go back to it, even though I had the deep carry clip. And so just FYI on that. But opening this knife, there's a couple ways you can open it. You can see with the thumb studs is obviously one way. You have the access lock, so you can always open it that way. The action on this seems to be really smooth. It's breaking in really, really nicely. I've had it only for about a week, and it's breaking in really, really nicely. I know it's going to get really smooth as I play with it more. What else can I tell you about this, guys? I can tell you that it's got the access lock on there. We talked about that. It does have liners. There's stainless steel liners in here. I don't know how well you can see them, but they go about 3/4 of the way into the knife. Let's see if you can see that. I don't know if you can see that or not, but basically they go about this deep into the knife, and they're not 100% covering it. And they are skeletonized a little bit as well. But does it add some additional strength? Absolutely. The other thing I want you to take note of when you look in there, if you can see in there, if you can see the screws from the outside of the knife are actually coming through, and they're exposed on the inside of the knife. And I know I'm not the first guy to say this. I'm pointing it out as well, but I've seen it in other videos as well. But that is a turnoff. Why they would make the screws so long that they would pop through the carbon fiber instead of just shortening the screws up a little bit is beyond me. You know, I did spend a lot of money on this knife, and in doing so, I would expect little details like that to be done. So Benchmade, bad on you. I do think that's a mistake. Even though I love the knife, I'm looking forward to this being a classic that'll be around in my collection forever. Because as I just basically sold off the majority of my collection and brought it down to 5 knives, this is one of those 5 knives. That's how important this knife is to me. So yes, I do think it's a great knife, and I'm really looking forward. I just went fishing with it the other day, and I had a lot of fun fishing with it. It was easy. It was easy to pull out of my pocket. It was easy to mess around with my line because I had to change some line out and do a couple things. It's just a great knife, and I can just see where it's going to be a great working knife. And I look forward to sharing some more, with you guys on this knife as I get to use it more, because I really haven't used it that much yet. But I will tell you, I've been carrying it in my pocket a lot, and I like it because it carries so nice in the pocket. It's so light, and it just takes up so little room because it just slides right down the side of your pocket. It's a great knife, guys. If you haven't put one in hand or you haven't experienced one, highly recommend it. For me, I couldn't do the green and the purple. It's just not me, guys. And the G10, I could have done the G10. I almost did the G10. I was fighting between the G10 and going with the nicer one, and I did go ahead and upscale, and I got the nicer one. But I could have been just as happy with the G10. And I think they call that one the 940-2, I believe. And I believe that has S90V steel on it. I was excited to get the S90V because I had never worked with it. And so far, the steel seems great. For those of you who don't know, it's real high in stainless. And so you really, it's very corrosion resistant, which is awesome. The negatives on it is that it's a little bit harder to sharpen. And then the edge is a little bit different as far as the way it holds a working edge more than it holds just a deep sharp edge, for lack of better term. So less slicey, but more of a working edge. And for that, it's a phenomenal knife. Really, really, really is. Anyway, I don't know if I have a whole lot more to say about the knife, except to tell you that I'm very, very happy with it. And I have sharpened it once already, and it's not as bad as people say. And I recommend it. If you guys have not had an Osborne in hand, a 940, if it's not this one, then get the G10 version, then get the aluminum version with the green and the purple, whatever it is that excites you, but get one. Definitely put one in hand. I mean, to be a knife collector or be a true enthusiast on any level, you have to put one of these in hand. That's all there is to it. I just became a fan within the last 6 months, and I will definitely be a fan for life now. But it is a knife you do have to put in hand and to understand and to respect and to have as part of your collection. I think it's very important. So I'm excited to have this one back in my collection, and I'm excited to share it with you guys. And I thank you for taking the time to watch this video. And if you haven't done it yet, please do subscribe, because I could really use the subscribers. I'm still very, very new at this. Just got a couple hundred subscriptions. So your guys' help is appreciated. Not that I'm making light of the 200 I got. Thank you guys very much. But I'm trying to build this thing up, so any help would be appreciated. And again, likes go a long way too. And if you didn't like it, please share your thoughts on why. Let me know that as well. I'm very open to suggestions and trying to get better at this, as I'm just doing it for the fun of it. All right? Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.